We have an awesome show for you guys today.
The greatest eventer of all time.
Good news for the sport.
Welcome to the John and Rick Show, brought to you by Horse Trailer Pros. We are all over the map today. I am coming to you guys from the North Woods. We got Rick at home, and we have a great show for you today with Lauren Huff. We're going to take a break, check in with Horse Trailer Pros, and we will be right back. Want to advertise on the John and Rick Show? Contact John at 352-875-8622.
Or call Rick at 850-879-2649.
For a horse owner on the road, your trailer is essential. No one enjoys being stuck on the road. At Horse Trailer Pros, we repair, renovate, and maintain all makes and models of horse trailers. We work directly with your insurance company or manufacturer for warranty repairs and insurance claims. Our state-of-the-art facility provides quick turnaround and friendly customer service. Considering a living quarter conversion? We do those too. Find comfort on the road with Horse Trailer Pros. Call or text 352-804-2131. HorseTrailerPros.com.
Does your horse struggle with stress, tight muscles, or fatigue? Nupeed USA delivers advanced supplements trusted by riders nationwide. Our magnesium supplement with unique MAH helps reduce anxiety and support muscle relaxation. And for lasting stamina, our L-carnitine builds energy and strength without making horses fizzy. Easy to feed, proven to perform. Support your horse's health and performance today with Nupeed.
Welcome to the John and Rick Show, brought to you by Horse Trailer Pros. John, we are in the Nupeed segment. Nupeed is a great magnesium paste that you can use daily or at horse shows in a tube. We don't live without it, John, because it really helps a lot. Nupeed also has a whole line of other products on their website, NupeedUSA.com. Y'all should go there today and order your Nupeed daily feeding and the tubes for horse shows. We got so nervous about it, John. We went to Bromont and we didn't have it, and Scott Adcock's overnighted a whole box of it to Bromont for us. So,
does that mean he'd do that for? Do you think he'd do that for me?
Yeah,
I needed it. All right, perfect. That's what I like to hear.
Yeah,
that's what I like to hear. So what have you guys got going on? What are you doing? What'd you do for the 4th?
We had a quiet time at the farm. We just had my mom and my uncle over. They live at Ocala Palms now. Briggs did a little cookout. It was just my son and my mom and uncle and Briggs, and we just kept quiet and, took a quiet day.
Nice. Well,
How about you?
we went to northern Wisconsin, where we always go this time of year. You can see I'm in the cabin.
Yeah.
In the back bedroom where I have Wi-Fi, and had a great time. We spent 7 days here. I water skied every single day except for today, because today we're sort of trying to help tidy and clean up after everybody has gone home. And we head home tomorrow, but we had a great time up here. It was 20 people descended on our on my mom's cabin up in the North Woods. So we had a great time. I'm always kind of like melancholy when I leave here because we have such a great time. But I'm excited to get home and get rocking on the horses here soon.
Sure. Well, you had to go to Wisconsin to get in a log cabin. We just had to go to Reddick, Florida.
Yeah, we're like everybody's in a cabin.
Everybody's in the cabin, John. Super. Well, I'm glad you got some time to go have fun. That's great. We have just been holding steady here. It's July. It's warm. But we're pushing through. I know
hot
as we
everywhere.
It's hot everywhere.
Yeah,
that is true. Hey, I know we have some news, but before we start, I know Lauren Huff is on here, and she's a great writer, great instructor. I think she instructs somebody we're going to talk about that's on one of the teams, Philip Dutton, down in Wellington. But Lauren is doing the WEC series during the summer here. The reason I know Lauren more than just through Phil is Ronnie Beard unfortunately passed away. Sorry, a couple of weeks ago, unexpectedly, and he was up here with Lauren, who was riding his horse Can Do, in the meter 45, and she actually came up last weekend, John, after her interview and did the welcome with the horse and did really super.
Awesome.
So we're excited. We are so sad about Ronnie. And real quick about Ronnie, to many of you that don't know, Ronnie was a staple in the USEF hunter jumpers. He had some really great, one of the greatest show jumpers around, was Jet Run Southside in Springdale. He worked with such riders as Katie Monahan, Bernie Tarrig, Buddy Brown, Robert Ridlin, Melanie Smith, and many more. Southside went to the 1976 Olympics. His most recent horse that he owned went to the 2016 Rio Olympics. That was Valinsky with Matt Williams. Matt Williams' son rode that horse in the Rio Olympics. So we're going to miss Ronnie. He helped Briggs immensely. We had 2 years of a lot of instruction from him. And again, he left suddenly, but we hear him in our head all the time. And you know what his line was, John?
No, tell me.
It's really good. You know, Jimmy had lines. They all had lines, didn't they?
Yep. Yep.
You know, Briggs would ride, or we would do something, and then we go, well, what do we need to do? And he goes, you just need to ride better.
Words of wisdom. I love that.
And you know, it's so true. You know, you get through a course and you go, well, what do you think? He goes, you just need to ride better.
It's perfect.
But we'll miss you, Ronnie. We'll miss you.
We will. It was great to have him when had him on the show. I remember the one thing, people can go back and watch that podcast and listen to Ronnie and hear all his great stories. But I think probably when I realized what a nice man he was is when he was waiting to come on air. I think either he'd just been on or he was waiting to come on, and I offered him a glass of wine, and I served him this wine, and as I was pouring it, I looked at it. I thought, that looks kind of funny, but I handed him the glass, and then I sat around for a little bit while he kind of sipped on it, and he didn't say a word. And then I took a sip of wine, and I was like, oh, wait a minute. That is definitely off. It was like drinking vinegar. And he was just going to nicely, politely pretend to sip it and then go home.
Yeah, if there would have been a table where you could have the wine on the table, he would have pushed it like 3 inches.
Right.
Because we learned something about Ronnie. We were at Montana last year at Rebecca Farm. He flew out there to help Briggs. And it was so great because he knew a lot of the eventers. I mean, Will Coleman, you know, Tammy Smith, everybody that, you know, kind of milled around. But he was very picky eater, John. And he loved the way Briggs cooked. We went to a restaurant in Montana, and it was, what was it? It was some kind of trout, Briggs. What was it? It was a trout that wasn't white, fluffy, flaking. It was, right. I think it was steelhead trout. He got it, and he cut into it. I could see his face. His nose went up a little bit, and then he plucked it some. And then I see him push his plate 3 inches, and he goes, it's pink.
Oh.
He doesn't like pink like salmon or
right.
And the steelhead trout was a pink line.
People that don't like pink fish are very strong about that. It's interesting.
Yeah, they did no pink. But anyway, he was fun to be with, and we had a great time, and he's going to be sorely missed. So
yeah, well, I know that's tough for everybody who knew him and got to work with him, and I'm sorry for Ronnie. I know he's in a great place now, and I'm sorry for you guys and everybody that was associated with him. So,
well, let's go on to I know, you know, we're going to celebrate his life, but let's go on to some good celebrations that's going on. We have World Championships under 25, World Championships senior teams.
Yeah, so we've got the U.S. team came out as we recorded this today. So we've got Will Coleman on Diabolo, Philip Dutton on Passant, Boyd Martin on Cooley Nutcracker, Caroline Pamuchu on HSA Blake, and Tammy Smith on Lilith 3, which I think is a strong team. And, you know, I think we should discuss it for sure, because you go into the alternates there and you've got Jenny Brannigan on FE Lifestyle, who you could argue should have a spot. You've got Hallie Kuhn on Capriccio, who that's the one she just had at Le Moulin, right? And so
that was Yeah, that was pretty strong. That was what, a fifth place finish there?
Yeah,
Pretty strong. That was
yeah,
Julia Norman's horse. So she's done a great job with that.
yeah. And then we have Tiana Cadre on. I'm gonna screw this up. D'Artagnan, I think is right.
Yeah, the black mare.
Yep. And then we have Philip again on Denim, Sydney Elliott on QC Diamantere, who I will say I know she was kind of doing her own thing and sort of had her own path to get there. So it's good that she's on as an alternate. And, I remember being told years ago, just get on that list, even as an alternate, and go to camp and keep working hard, and you never know. And we've got Emily Hamill on Corvette, which obviously put her in there because that is a cross country machine. Got Allie Knowles on Montpellier, and that one is, again, you could argue that one could have a spot on there for sure. And then you got Boyd again on Shanro Cooley. Now, one thing I was saying to you, Rick, which I think is interesting, is in years past, they'll put people with two horses in as direct reserves. And they didn't do that this year. I don't know if that has anything to do with the whole Will Coleman situation from
Right.
Paris. If they decided just we're not going to do any direct reserves, I don't. And that's just speculation. I don't know if really it would change anything in the process. I can guarantee they're going to have that process sorted out this time.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
but I just thought that was interesting. No direct reserves, so everybody on that reserve list, they're not listed in anything other than alphabetical order. Those reserves. So I
Right.
don't know if there's also I'm sure the selectors have a ranking.
And
Whether
I guess everybody listening and watching we are not in the Olympic format for the World Championships. We are in a team format, correct? We have four riders,
correct.
three scores count, lowest scores dropped. Um, and we have to have three horses complete or three combinations complete to get a team score.
Correct.
Do we have alternates? I mean, do we have individuals?
No, so that's the five, and of that five, they will name the four team and the one individual.
So there'll be one individual of the five on the team,
Correct.
and we don't know what that is yet.
No.
And when is the World Championships are in
I stand corrected. I did, as I said, this whole thing about Will Coleman. There is one person who has a direct reserve,
Boyd
and
Martin?
that would be Will Coleman. So
Oh,
Will Coleman is named on Diabolo, direct reserve on Off the Record, and very dignified. So he has
so he's
two direct
back up.
reserves. So he has three horses listed, and two of them are direct reserves as I read this.
And if people are wondering what a direct reserve is, if something happened to Diabolo, then the next one off the record would come into play. And then if something happened to off the record, then the next one would come into play.
Yeah, and I don't know that they've listed Off the Record and very dignified in any order.
That's a choice for the team,
That's a choice on the day. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. But
And I know a lot of people are going, "What are they talking about? What happened to Will?" And I think in a handbasket, there was a direct alternate for him at the
yeah,
Olympics, and I think he was named with one horse, but he replaced it with another, and then under the rules or somebody's rules, I don't know whose rules they were, John, because he took the one horse off, it couldn't be then put back into the direct behind him.
yeah.
So
That's basically it. There was some confusion with the process, and they pulled one off, put one on, and then went to put the other one back on, and then it got all messy, and
yeah,
he ended up with none. So
yeah, it was kind of a sore spot. And from what I understand, and I can't, and everybody out there, what I remember and what I kind of understand, it was a U.S. issue. It wasn't an Olympic issue.
correct. There was some confusion in how it worked. Is
Yeah,
basically what happened. So I think I'm gonna guess that is gonna be
worked out.
handled better this time. I think everybody learned a lesson there.
Well, that's
That's it.
exciting. When is Aachen?
No, I knew you were going to ask that.
You did.
It's in August.
Okay.
Come on,
So
you should pull it up
there's
because I don't want to
times.
get the date wrong.
Okay. I would ask Siri, but it would be kind of rude to ask it in front of people.
Right.
I will keep talking as well.
I got it here. August 11th to the 23rd. That's the whole deal. And eventing, it looks like starts. Come on, August 13th.
August 13th. So there's not a lot of time, but there's what, uh,
Yep.
5 weeks?
Yeah, about that. About that as we record
A
this,
lot of
yes.
things can happen in 5 weeks. So what do we got for the under 25, which is sort of exciting? It's the
The under
first
25 team
inaugural.
is an alphabetical order. Jack Curtis, Molly Duda. So Jack Curtis with Luska Candy Clover, Molly Duda on Disco Traveler, Olivia Dutton on Julant, Quidley Kellerman on Blakeney's Cruise, Meg Pellegrini on Dundante, and Cassie Sanger on Fernhill Zorro. So that's interesting. They named six. I'm not sure how that. Do you know how that works?
I think there's two individuals.
Team of four and two individuals. There you go. Yep.
That's why I was asking about the World Championships. They modeled it because before in the past, the format was a team and two individuals. So we had six going to the Olympics, World Games, whatever. So um, there we go. Can you run the list one more time for me? Because I was preoccupied.
Yes. So, and there's another interesting little twist in here as well that we'll talk about in a minute. So the team is Jack Curtis, Molly Duda, Olivia Dutton, Quidley Kellerman, Meg Pellegrini, and Cassie Sanger.
So Olivia Dutton, who is she on? Is she on
Julian.
Julian?
Julian.
So she was like shortlisted with both horses, but they picked Julian.
Correct.
Got it.
Correct. Now, what's interesting is when you go down to this competition, you have your chef to keep and high performance manager Leslie Law, who will be supported by performance advisor Karen Shooter, and that all is totally normal. And then your team leader is Amber Braun, which I think is interesting. And Amber is awesome. I've worked with Amber a ton. She is great. And she is basically the director of the eventing program for the USEF. But when you go over to the senior team, you have chef to keep and high performance manager Leslie Law, alongside high performance advisor Karen Shooter, and team leader Christina Vaughn, who normally is the person who does this. So I'm guessing it's because Christina is going to be very busy dealing with the senior team and keeping that all going. So Amber is stepping in to fill that role, which is awesome. Congratulations to Amber, I guess, if it's a job she wanted. That's a lot of work. I know she's got her family at home, so thanks for doing that. But yeah, that should be exciting for
Yeah,
those
and
guys.
another note sidebar for the under 25 is Meg Pellegrini was on our show. Her
Yep.
mother, Molly, is the USEA president currently,
Yep.
and she is riding Will Coleman's old horse,
Yes. Don Dante.
Dante.
Yep.
Dante, yeah. So that's
Don
kind of cool.
Dante.
Dante.
Yeah.
And Meg is super nice, sweet girl. Remember, she was really good at putting everything into her mainstream of what she wanted in life, and it seems to be all coming true.
That's right. That's right.
And Jack Curtis was going to be on our show before
Yeah,
he
and he
left.
will be.
He will be. He is over there with Tom McEwen. Did you get the text that he sent us
No.
after he got there? He sent us a text going, "Hey guys, I'm so sorry.
Oh,
I
yeah, yeah,
really
yeah, yeah,
wanted
yeah.
to be on the show." And like it's very cool. Jack's a cool
Yeah.
guy.
We'll have Jack on very soon. Who
Yep.
knows? Maybe the next show. We'll see how it all shakes out. So
Yeah.
congratulations to those guys as well. And then I know, like I saw a question in Australia named their team. A bunch of teams have been named, and I don't know that we need to go into all of it.
Well, who's on the Australian team? Is not I just want to know one individual was.
So what they've done. The senior squad has been is one step closer to being finalized because of the nominated entries.
It's got Sophia on there.
They will not be naming the 4 and 2 until it's due, is likely what they're thinking, on July 27th. But you have the long list, which is Olivia Barrett on Sandhills Briar, Olivia Barton on APH Sudoku, Christine Bates on Bloomfield Findon, Andrew Cooper on Ocean 8, Isabel English on CIL Dara Bombay S. Hang on, we're about halfway through. Sophia Hill twice, once on Humble Glory and the other on Tolera Baltango. So good for Sophia. Andrew Hoy, still got it. Vesely De La Sans, Sam Jeffrey on Santoro, and then my personal favorite, my Ride IQ compatriot, Emma Klugman on Shiraz, Kevin McNabb on Faro Imp, Emma Mason on KPH Kingfisher, David Middleton, Weck in the Breeze, Kenya Wilson, Sandro's Salute, MW, Sam Woods, SS 8 count.
Wow. They got a thick line.
Yeah, and then you told me, and I didn't see it because I've been in my own little world, that Monica Spencer is going for New
That
Zealand.
wasn't me. I did not see the New Zealand team. I saw it pop
Okay.
up, but
Okay, so we think it's a rumor. We suspect.
we suspect, but that is announced. The New Zealand team is announced. I just
Okay,
didn't look
hold
at
on.
it.
Hold on.
While you're doing that and looking it up, I know the Canadians are not sending a full team. They're sending 2 individuals, and that is Jessica Phoenix and Mike Winter.
Of course, Mike's going. Of course, he's going.
And
Yes, all right. Equestrian Sports New Zealand named their team for the 2026 Eventing World Championship. So you got Tim Price, Jonelle Price, Samantha Lissington, and Monica Spencer.
Yay.
Congrats, Monica. Congrats to all 4 of you guys. But
very good.
Monica, we're pretty proud of you because we feel like you're one of our own now down in the Southeast and up in the Northeast as well, and here in the States. So congratulations to you. And so that's what I got, man.
That's cool. I like that. It's
all right.
Exciting.
So should we get to Lauren?
I think we should get to Lauren, John.
Let's get to Lauren because I got one more afternoon of water skiing to do.
Well, get out there and start water skiing. Why don't you send us some videos?
I probably won't water ski, but I skied a 50-year-old ski of my uncle's.
Did you really? Was it slalom?
It was slalom. Yeah, it was like skiing on a lake.
I can't do 2 skis. I can only do 1.
It's because you're so athletic.
I know, right?
Yeah. All right, let's take a break. Thank you again to Nupeed for sponsoring this segment. You guys are awesome. I'm so relaxed during this segment because of Nupeed. We appreciate that. And as always, thank you to Horse Trailer Pros. Hang tight, guys. Check out these commercials. They are very well produced. And we will be right back.
Does your horse struggle with stress, tight muscles, or fatigue? Nupeed USA delivers advanced supplements trusted by riders nationwide. Our magnesium supplement with unique MAH helps reduce anxiety and support muscle relaxation. And for lasting stamina, our L-carnitine builds energy and strength without making horses fizzy. Easy to feed, proven to perform. Support your horse's health and performance today with Nupeed.
Equa Brew, now available in the USA. It's a live probiotic that you feed daily to your horses. The live microbes go into your horse's gut and cleans up the gut wall, creating a healthy gut system.
Equa Brew is an essential part of my feeding program. My horses love to eat it, and it does a really good job of promoting gut health and also good behavior and great performances.
It's something I recommend for all of your horses, no matter what they do in their careers.
It's so affordable, I can use it on all of my horses in the barn, not just my top horses.
Order Equa Brew today by going to brickfieldnutrition.com or calling 850-879-2649.
Grant Showalter has over 15 years of equine bodywork and saddle fitting experience. His technique allows him to identify and alleviate tightness in muscles. He uses trigger point massage to release points of restriction. Grant has over a decade of experience fitting and adjusting a wide variety of saddles. His expertise in equine physiology, coupled with a thorough understanding of the importance of a properly fitted saddle, allows him to quickly identify and correct any balance issues. Grant can also adjust your saddle on site. Grant works on all of my competition horses, and I have noticed a significant improvement in their performance at competitions and their overall way of going. Grant's based in Ocala, Florida year-round, but regularly travels to the surrounding areas. For more information or to schedule an appointment, call 484-639-4454.
Everyone says they feed the best, but not every feed is made the same. Seminole Feed is built on fixed formulas. made in a medication-free mill for unmatched safety. Every bag delivers consistency your horse can feel and performance you can see. Because when it matters, there is only one best, the original low-starch feed, Seminole Wellness.
Welcome back to the John and Rick Show, brought to you by Horse Trailer Pros. John, we are in the second segment of our 13th episode of Season 7.
That's a lot of math. Good job.
I just did it.
Yeah, I'm impressed.
And we are very lucky to have Lauren Huff in with us today. Lauren, thanks for being with us.
Absolutely, my pleasure to be here.
And we are in the Seminole segment. John,
Yep.
Can you tell us a little bit about Seminole feed?
I can. I'm super prepared.
Right.
So Seminole is a great feed. It is, I think, based here in Ocala, right?
Yep.
And the thing that I think is great about Seminole, aside from being great feed, is that they have dedicated mills to horse feed. So you
Right.
don't have to worry about anything else that is not good for horses being in there. And I think that is probably the single most important thing.
Yeah, and are you familiar with Seminole?
Yeah, I actually used to use their feed when I first lived in Ocala, way back when.
That's awesome. The reason I really like, we are sponsored by Seminole ourselves, but having a segment sponsor, but also talking to them, I was really impressed because they talked about the feed not having probiotics in it, and the reason was they didn't believe that a dry probiotic worked, and they didn't want to just put probiotics on their feed because they felt, the nutritionists felt it didn't work, so they removed that, and I thought that was very cool. But Seminole feed, thank you. Lauren, thanks for being with us.
Absolutely.
I think you are a decorated equestrian that has done a lot.
I've been around a while, I guess.
and rightly so. What was your first international? I know we went through your Pan Am games. I think you were in 4. Is that correct?
3 or 4, yeah. I think 3.
3?
Yeah.
So we got, first one was 2003,
Yeah.
and that was in,
Santo Domingo.
and then you had 2007,
in Rio.
and then 2015 Toronto.
Toronto, yeah.
So before we go into all those experiences, you were also in the 2000 Olympics and the World Championships in 2010.
Yep. So my first experience ever riding on a team representing the United States of America was at the Olympics in Sydney. I was 23 and my horse was 9. And back at that point, our trial system was completely objective. So I won my spot on the team. We had 10 trials over 3 weeks' time. And I earned my spot on the team, and that was my first ever time putting the pink coat on.
That's amazing. At 23, John.
And that was Classico, right?
It was,
Right.
yeah. Good memory.
Thank you.
I think he just looked it up. But Lauren,
I did remember once I looked it up. I was like, oh yeah.
Lauren, you obviously didn't get to be a 23-year-old Olympian without having a background, right? And I think you had a father that was in the eventing
I did. My
Olympics.
father, Champ Huff, rode in the 1952 Olympics in Helsinki in eventing.
Right.
He was 18. It was the first year it was non-military.
Wow.
So they literally picked him out of a selection of young riders and trained him, and off he went. But I was really fortunate, still am fortunate, that my family is involved in the industry. My mother was is still a really well-known, respected hunter trainer, and I grew up in California at her business called Sutton Place. And yeah, as a young rider, I did a lot of catch riding, so I was exposed to many, many different trainers, and I think that really helped me get a leg up in the sport for sure.
So was your career as a young rider in California mostly, or did you expand out? Did you go to any of the finals?
I sort of did half and half. My parents were divorced when I was quite young, and my dad was on the East Coast, so I would do my school year in California, and then my summers with my dad, I'd bring a pony and a horse, and off we went with the 2-horse trailer and the motorhome.
Wow. Any finals that you made? McClay?
Yep.
Medals?
I won the the talent search finals, and then I probably hold the record for being called on top the most times in the medal and screwing up every time. For some reason, when I was young, the pressure definitely got to me in the equitation, but I think it was a good foundation, and you learn a lot from it for sure.
So just to everybody listening and watching, what Lauren's referring to, if you've never watched the equitation final or equitation in general, you get called back in the top 4.
Well, so
Typically.
let's just say the medal finals,
Yep.
which is at Harrisburg. I think there's like around 250 riders in it. So it starts at 7 in the morning, goes till 4 in the afternoon, and then
Right.
they call back the best 25 from the 250. And literally for 4 years in a row, I think I was called on top and screwed up every year. I think my best result was maybe like a third or a fourth.
So
That's still pretty good out of 250
Yeah, but
people.
I thought my life was over because
Right,
you
sure.
really think, your equitation career is the most important thing at that point in your life.
I mean, I think wherever you are in your career, it seems like the most important
Yes,
thing, right?
yes.
So that's fair.
But like I said, I think
And
it was
you're
a
young.
good foundation, and I think in the end, I learned how to handle pressure a lot better after that experience.
Right. Right. And then, so I was doing some research on you, and
Okay.
so at some point, you went and spent a bunch of time in Europe.
I did. So I finished my junior career in 1995,
Right.
and then I
Which would be right when you got out of high school, because we're the exact same age.
Yes,
I know.
yep.
I've looked up so much.
Look at that.
she's 48.
Super young.
Super young.
Yeah,
yes.
48 is a great age.
What did I do? Yeah, I went to Europe and I worked for Hank Noren.
Okay. And so this is before Sydney.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, and then so that was like 96, 97, and then I started my own. My parents gave me my tuition money for college and let me start my business in 1998.
Right.
And I was able to acquire a few clients right from the get-go. I had been working for Michelle Grubb, and she was slowing down, so I acquired some really good horses and good clients right from the get-go. And then with my parents' help, was able to put some syndicates together and went and bought Classico and another horse called Windy City when they were 7 and 8 years old. We bought them literally on the same trip.
And so how old were you then? Because you rode at the Olympics when you were 23.
So I would have been 21.
Okay, so you had a couple
Yeah,
seasons.
yeah.
Right.
So yeah, I bought these horses that really, Classico and Windy City, were a huge part of my career from a young age. And Windy City went to a few World Cup finals and Pan Am Games, and so I had these two amazing horses at a young age that really shaped the beginning of my career internationally.
Right.
Who's your biggest influencer when you were coming up the ranks?
There's so many, to be honest, but I really think that my parents were first and foremost, because without them, I wouldn't have gotten access
Sure.
to as many professionals as I did. Conrad Holmfeld was a huge influence in my life. He was very generous and traveled many places around the world to help me once I started to compete on teams. And Tim and Michelle Grubb were a huge part of my life. Barney Ward. Many. I could go. I'm going to forget somebody, but
it's a whole list.
there's just, so many people that helped me and I learned from along the way.
And then I think as we migrate through your career, we see you at eventing now. You're a great face to see, and I'm like, there's Lauren. She's helping us figure out the show jumping thing.
Yeah.
Who are you helping right now, or is there a list of people that you're going to do, or
So
we
the
need to get
Duttons
you on
are
our list?
basically like a second family to me.
Yeah.
They stay with me in the winter when they're in Wellington, and so I've been helping Philip for, probably 10 years now.
And it's showing a lot.
So we really work well together, and he's been very generous. I go and teach at his place quite a bit. I help Olivia a lot. I think in 2012 for the London Olympics, I did have an official title for being the show jumping coach, but it was a little too much for me with continuing to do my sport.
Right.
I just felt I couldn't dedicate as much time as they needed for
You
someone.
were great at it, though, because you probably don't remember, but I got to ride with you in that.
Okay.
And, I think you were maybe not official right before that.
Yeah.
And Laura had done some of it, and
Yeah.
then you came in and did
Yeah.
it. And, I mean, I was bummed when you weren't there anymore. It was super, super helpful.
I mean, I've always, I think the eventing world, I call them salt of the earth people. I think they're They work really hard, and I've just always enjoyed it. I've always enjoyed working with them, and I think I've always found as a coach you learn a lot from coaching as well as riding, and so I've been lucky to work with some of the best. I even trained when I was based in England, I did the New Zealand team for one season,
Right.
which was really educational for myself. And yeah, I've helped Zara Tyndall quite a bit when I was based in England, and yeah, I've learned a lot from being in your guys' world a bit.
Yeah, it just.
I know I don't want to do it.
At least not the cross
Not
country
the cross
part.
country bits. I don't
Right.
like when the jumps don't come down.
Right. I mean, yeah, no joke. But you have a really good way. I always thought like it was helpful, but in a good way, like unemotional.
Yeah.
It was like this: you're gonna jump the jump, and if you knock it down, we're gonna come around. We're gonna try to ride it better the next time. And it was like, it was very what I would call like classic George Morris. This is the system. Riding.
Yeah,
training.
I think as I've evolved in my teaching career, I really feel like less is better,
Right.
in my opinion. I think sometimes people can go too hard, too quick, and I like to take the time to get to know the rider, get to know the horse, and you really start from the basics and work. Every rider has a different way of teaching and learning, and I just feel like teaching really helps me in my riding as well.
Right. Yeah. No. I mean, I find this. I do a lot of coaching as well, and it
Yeah.
definitely does. Definitely does.
Yeah, I think obviously it's apparent in the people that you are helping. And I've gotten the privilege to watch you ride a friend's horse, Ronnie Beard, who we've just recently lost. But I think your approach to how you ride is very impressive to watch. And I've enjoyed watching you ride.
Thank you.
Now, I know we got to watch you last year in the FEI with a Grand Prix horse I think you recently sold.
I did, yeah. I mean, just to back up a bit, I'd say since 2022, I've taken a little bit of a step back from being on the circuit. I used to compete 48 weeks a year around the world.
Wow.
And I, to be honest, got a little bit tired. So I don't travel as much anymore. We have Ocala, literally 3 hours from where I live in Wellington. And so I've focused more on teaching. I still really enjoy riding. I try to buy horses myself, produce them, and sell them. Sometimes with investors, sometimes on my own. And the last one that I just had, his name was Claricel Jr. I bought him together with one other investor. He came from England. We produced him for about 14 months. I got him up to 4-star level, and then sold him in February of this year. And then I have 2 more coming over in the next few weeks.
Oh, great.
So my numbers are small in my own stable. I used to, have a huge overhead and a lot of horses and a lot of people, and I try to keep it a little bit smaller now, and then teach more on the outside, and then keep my riding focused on me.
And so, when you downsize, are you still on the same property down in Wellington?
So I've actually never owned a farm in Wellington.
Right.
Probably not a great idea. I should have 20 years ago invested.
I don't know. We own a 60-acre farm, my wife and I, and there are times I'm like, I should just board.
Yeah, I think there's pros and cons to all of it. I have a beautiful home in Wellington. My mom lives on my property with me, but I rent stables in Wellington.
Okay.
When I lived in England, actually when I grew up in California and when I lived in England for many years, I was always sort of on the property where the horses were. We lived on the property on site, and I think there's benefits to that, and I think some of it's lovely, but I also enjoy being able to leave at the end of the day.
Right. Well, and it sounds like then you can be flexible. Like if you want 3 horses, you rent 3 stalls, and
Exactly,
if you want 12
yeah.
horses, you rent 12.
Exactly, yeah.
Right. And so you've got. So tell me again, how many are coming in right now that you just got?
2.
2.
Yeah, so I normally keep somewhere between 3 to 7 in my own care.
Okay. And then.
In the winter, it gets a little bit more hectic because I get sale horses in and out, and eventers send me horses. But
fix this one, sell this one. This one doesn't want to go cross country. It's too careful. We need you to sort it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll talk later. So you're up here at WEC. and you were saying you come back and forth a lot.
I do, yep.
So what's up here this week? What do you have?
What do I have this week? I have one client that I helped that's jumping the 4-star, Brian Crenane, whose wife used to ride eventing.
Right.
And then I have a 9-year-old that Ronnie Beard sent me that I'm just going slow with, still getting to know him. He'll jump some meter 35s. I have a really nice 8-year-old, but quite green, that will just jump some lower classes just for mileage. That's what I love about this place, is you can get so much mileage for the horses. And then I have a 12-year-old that I'm looking to sell to a junior and amateur.
Right. Okay. And so you come up here, and I think I know the answer, but where do you base out of when you're here in Ocala then?
So my dear friend Laura Kraut bought a place here, I think about a year and a half ago.
Right.
And she's
Right down the road from us.
Yeah, she's been very generous. And I stay there in and out during the summer, and when the horses aren't showing, I've been laying over there.
Right.
And I think it's helpful to her. I can sort of keep an eye on the place and make sure everything's up and running, because they're traveling in Europe at the moment.
Right. And then in the wintertime when she is here, is it enough room you can still kind of come in and out with a couple?
So I actually, in the last 2 years, I haven't shown at WEC in the winter.
I guess you don't have to.
I've kind of been in Wellington.
Right.
If I had horses jumping at a higher level, I definitely would come here more, because they're obviously starting to offer a lot of 5-stars and here and there. But at the moment, I don't have those horses in my stable, so it just has suited me to stay closer to home in the winter.
Right. Cool.
So we're going to not transgress, but
Transition.
Transition.
That's the word.
Your best memory at representing the USA at either Pan Am's, Worlds, or Olympics. Is there an encapsulating memory that you really like the best, or is high in your list of wows?
Honestly, I think that the journey to get to these places is really the challenge.
Right.
You know, I know that there's been times with some of my compatriots and fellow riders that we work really hard to get there, and then we get there and we go, do we really want to be here?
Right.
In the funniest way possible.
Right.
But I think, you know, Sydney was obviously an amazing experience. Halfway around the world, we spent a lot of time together, because we were quarantined in California for 3 weeks and then quarantined in Sydney before we ever started competing.
Right.
So it was a lot of time together. Obviously, I love representing my country. I've ridden many, many Nations Cups all over the world, and anything that has to do with representing Team USA is always an honor. And yeah, you always want to do well when you're representing your country, but I always find that the journey and the challenge of getting there and then when you get there, is the most rewarding.
Favorite teammate?
Oh, you can't
no,
ask. That's unfair.
I knew I'd like, okay, go. Why not throw it out there?
I mean, listen, Laura is one of my closest friends, and we've ridden on many, many teams.
We'll see.
But
That was easy.
Margie, Beezy, I mean, there's so many.
I know they're all
McLean.
your favorites, but there are some that surface.
Yeah, they're all your favorites. We're not going to tell anybody.
But you can all guess.
Listen, when I was growing up, I was always the youngest on the team, and now that's changing, because there's obviously, and that's great for our sport. There's a lot of young talent coming up in our sport, and we need that.
Yeah.
So that's a good question. Then, you're not taking your name off the list for any U.S. team in the future, are you?
No, listen, if the right horse comes along,
Yep.
and maybe the right sponsors here or there, and I definitely think I still have it in me to go and compete at the highest level. Will I do it like I used to, which was literally compete almost every week of the year? I'm not so sure I'm up for that anymore.
Right.
I think I could be more focused on, obviously LA, and, I don't have the horse at the moment, but LA in 2 years is always in the back of your mind. And the beauty of our sport is that if you stay, fit and healthy, there really is no age limit to what we do.
Yeah.
So.
That is true. Look at John.
Hey, we're the same age.
Yeah, I was in the gym this morning at 6 a.m.,
anyway.
I'll have you know. 6 a.m.
What was that?
I was in the gym 6 a.m. this morning.
Were you really?
Yes.
Good for you.
Yes, which was technically
I
my
was
garage.
not. I was not.
Great.
Hey,
Let's take a break.
let's thank Seminole one more time.
Yep.
Seminole, thank you very much for being a segment sponsor. Great feed. Everybody, there's locations in Ocala, And if you're not in Ocala, there's a lot of locations throughout the Southeast. So buy your Seminole feed. I'm a big believer, and it's a great feed.
Everyone says they feed the best, but not every feed is made the same. Seminole feed is built on fixed formulas. And made in a medication-free mill for unmatched safety. Every bag delivers consistency your horse can feel and performance you can see. Because when it matters, there is only one best, the original low-starch feed, Seminole Wellness.
For a horse owner on the road, your trailer is essential. No one enjoys being stuck on the road. At Horse Trailer Pros, we repair, renovate, and maintain all makes and models of horse trailers. We work directly with your insurance company or manufacturer for warranty repairs and insurance claims. Our state-of-the-art facility provides quick turnaround and friendly customer service. Considering a living quarter conversion? We do those too. Find comfort on the road with Horse Trailer Pros. Call or text 352-804-2131. HorseTrailerPros.com.
Welcome back to the John and Rick Show, brought to you by Horse Trailer Pros, and we are in the Equa Brew segment. Lauren, sorry you stuck around. We
sure
appreciate it. I pulled a Rick. And Equa Brew is an awesome live probiotic. It comes from New Zealand. It is like horsey, doggy, whatever you want to give it to, kombucha, and it is great. I love it because my horses like to eat better when they have it, and it helps your horse's gut health, which means that anything you give to your horse as far as supplements is going to be absorbed better, which is fantastic. So all you got to do is go to brickfieldnutrition.com, and Rick and Briggs and the Equa Brew elves are going to pack up your Equa Brew. They're going to stick it in a box, and it's going to ship out to you.
You're getting really good at that, John.
Thank you very much. You should check it out, Lauren.
Actually, she has a horse on it. Ronnie Beard's horse.
Perfect. And you were saying before we got on here.
Yeah, I have a puppy with a bad tummy, so we're going to try the puppy out.
That's Pet Brew prebiotic, but we have a Pet Brew, like that's a calf brew. It's in the same bottle, but it's a Pet Brew that is for pets to do the same thing. The only difference between the Equa Brew, the calf brew, and the Pet Brew is the enzyme that they line it with. All of the probiotics are transitional in anybody's gut. That's why it's food grade, and you can do Equa Brew as a little shot glass if you're having an upset stomach, and it really helps. So.
Okay, I have a question before we get to Lauren.
For
this.
Yeah.
What is the difference? Thank you. What is the difference between a prebiotic and a probiotic?
So a prebiotic lines the gut with food for the microbes that are coming in.
It's like
to the gut.
It
games it up for them to get the
It's the food for the probiotics.
Yeah, it helps them eat the bad microbes that are
perfect
or bad.
I mean, you would think I should know that, but I didn't know, so I appreciate that.
I didn't know until we got it.
We're all learning things.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Always good to learn.
It's great to have, and we'll make sure the can-do stays on it. But thanks for staying for another segment.
Of course, my pleasure.
So many things to talk about.
You guys make this fairly easy.
We'll try.
So let's ask her a question about eventers, and I know you said the salt of the earth, which is great.
Mm-hmm.
And since you've been working with us since 2012, maybe before.
Yeah.
Have you seen an exponential improvement in her ability to guide these horses over the colored poles?
Well, I mean, you guys can, but in my opinion, I think the show jumping has become a really important phase, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it really can make or break
for sure
a team medal or an individual medal, and so I feel like the riders in the last decade have started to realize that they can't just tackle show jumping the day of. They need to be good at it, and so a lot of them in the wintertime, take a minute, especially Philip, having bought a farm in Wellington, to really try to be competitive what we've done is with the horses that are capable, jump at a higher level than what he'll have to do when he gets to a championship. So like he had a horse back a couple years ago that he was jumping 135, 140 on, and being competitive at show jumping shows. And so then when we got to Rolex or a 5-star, it looked like nothing.
Right.
And so I think obviously each horse is an individual, and some horses need more show jumping, some need less, some need to practice only gymnastics. But again, I'm always very horse and rider specific. I think everybody has a different path to get to where they need to be.
Right. And I think that kind of segues into, I know we've lost somebody dear to us, Ronnie Beard. It's a big loss to the whole, jumper and equestrian in general people, because Ronnie was such a delight to be around and so much knowledge to learn from. But he had so much influence in your sport, but across the board, even into ours. And that's why we pulled Ronnie into our lives about a couple of years ago. And Briggs and what he did with Briggs and how he did it and the things that he set up was transformational for us. See, it's hard to say.
I've had it until you said it.
And to your point of being very calm and very just quiet, he was much like that. Your experiences with Ronnie?
I mean, on a personal level, Ronnie was one of my mother's probably best friends. So it's been a really hard and sad time for us. I think he'd been struggling for some time, but it really was quite sudden, and I think a bit of a shock. But he was able to spend the last week of his life at a horse show, watching his horse compete and around people that he loved. And he did not, I don't think, suffered for too long.
No.
But he was a remarkable horseman. He influenced so many riders' careers way back when and still to the present day. He had an unbelievable eye for a horse, and was just a very kind and humble man that we will greatly miss.
It's well put, Lauren. And I think for us in the last 2 years with him coming in, spoke so highly of you, and we spent many a week with him, traveling to Montana, to Kentucky with us. But it was sudden for us as well, and he'll be missed.
Absolutely. And
so as we move through that was very difficult a little bit, but his influence on us and your influence on some of our eventers, I think, is where we're really lucky to be able to, we have 3 different sports within one, and going to show jumpers like you, that gives us a little bit more skill in doing what we need to do, is beneficial. Don't you agree?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yes. I absolutely did. That's why I was saying it was great getting
Were you in deep thought there? Or?
I was just listening, waiting for Lauren's answer, and then you turned it to me.
Well, I just wanted you to enjoy the inclusion.
So I actually have a question for you, Lauren.
Yeah.
See?
So obviously eventing has, since I got into it, for sure, and probably since I would have met you in that sort of like 2010, 2011 time frame-ish period, it has changed tremendously. Now, I don't know, admittedly, the high-level show jumping world nearly as well as I do the eventing world. Has that had significant changes in that time period as well, or has it kind of been the same stuff?
Listen, I think every sport is always evolving, and I think every sport hopefully is always evolving for the better.
Right.
I would say the amount of show jumping events and 5-stars that we have around the world it gets bigger and bigger every year. And I think it's getting to a point now where a high-level rider really has to pick and choose. You used to be able to do the global tours, do your Nations Cups, focus on your championships, go to big prize money shows, jump CSIOs, and now it's, I think, and I don't think there's many that can cover all bases. And so in a championship year, I think a lot of the show jumpers have now started to say, at least in our country, all right, maybe we're not going to do so many global tours. Maybe we're really going to focus on team jumping. Also, there are riders that say, you know what, team jumping maybe isn't for me, and the amount of prize money you can win in our sport now is also insane. And now there's going to be a new league coming out, I think, in 2027 that's going to be comparable to what the prize money they have in golf.
Really? What's that one going to be called?
It's called the PGL League. And don't ask me too much about it because I don't know, but I know the prize money is
staggering.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, and it is interesting you say that because, again, looking at it somewhat from the inside, is living here and eventing and knowing jumping, but not completely an insider in your world. I've noticed it's like I turn on Clip My Horse or Horse and Country TV, and it's like every day I turn it on, there is something going on somewhere in the world. It's a major jumping competition. It's awesome, and it's great with the advent of all these streaming platforms that you can literally turn on your TV anytime you want, and you can watch amazing show jumping all over the world.
Yeah,
which is pretty cool.
I think the Clip My Horse and all these platforms. Plus, I think one thing that's also changing our sport dramatically, and this I'm not sure is for the better, is social media.
Right.
I think there's pros and cons to it. I hope that some of the young riders coming up don't feel like their life needs to revolve around it. Hopefully they focus more on what they're doing in the sport and not too much on what happens around them, because I think it's tough. I'm really glad in our era that we didn't have what these kids have now.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting because I'm on social media. I'm sure you are too. Everybody's on it at least to some extent. But for me, it is all business. Maybe virtually all business. It is videos of horses I need to sell, or promotion of stuff for my top horses, trying to keep owners happy and excited and interested. But you're right, it can go a little bit too far, and you can see a lot of times with the kids, and I say kids generally like 30 and under, where it does seem, you wonder how much it consumes them, don't you?
And I think also people can be really mean on the internet, and I think that can affect some people. You know, and so you have to you have to tread very carefully how you manage it and how you want it to be a part of your sporting career.
So, to that point, and maybe you just answered it, I'm not sure. If you were looking back on you at 18 years old, but not then, but now. So looking back at you as a young woman, but coming into the sport right now today, what would you tell yourself?
That's a great question.
Thank you.
Well, I think there's a lot, on paper, there's a lot more opportunities now for these U25 riders. You know, there's a spot on the global tour teams for a U25 rider. They're having a U25 World Championships during the World Championships where 2 American riders get to go. They have these young riders academies. You know, they're really giving a lot of people a leg up in the sport, which I do believe is beneficial. But I also feel like we had to work really hard to get where we were because it wasn't handed to us in such a social platform. If that makes sense to you?
Yeah, I think so. Like by the federation, you mean?
Yeah, I mean, listen, the federation's always been amazing. I'm taking nothing away from them, but I do feel like the U25 riders, they even have a U25 world ranking list now.
Right, okay.
I mean, it's becoming more and more apparent that there's always spots for the U25 coming up in our sport, and I think that's great. But it's not something that we had in our era, and we still were able to achieve what we achieved.
Right. Yeah.
So whether there's longevity to some of those kids that are given a leg up very early, I'm not sure.
Well, and we've noticed that in the eventing stuff as well, so much so that they actually several years ago changed our program for the like
We had
21
it-
and under kids,
Yeah.
where it wasn't run through the federation anymore. It was run through our affiliate, through the USEA, because there was such attrition in that age of kids, that 18 to 21-year-old. You'd see this kid and be like, that's the one, this is going to be the kid. And then, no fault of the rider, of the athlete, the kid, they would go, well, I want to go to school. And so
Right.
now the federation put all this money into these kids, shipping them around the country and potentially around the world to go do this stuff, and then they just quit because they wanted to do something else. And so, to your point, with this 25 and under, you can see the same thing happening, right?
I will say that the Laura Kraut and Katie Prudent just founded a new thing called a Road to the Top, where kids that maybe don't have the means to get to the highest level of the sport can apply, and they become Katie and Laura are mentors to some of these riders. Carly McCutcheon just graduated from the program, and it's really taken off. Like a lot of kids have applied for it. They now have also apprenticeships where it's like the second tier riders, and they can go be an apprentice for a high level rider. And those things are being offered to kids that don't maybe have the financial means to get to the highest level, because nowadays it costs a lot of money
Right.
to do it at the highest level. And so if you don't have the backing, this kind of program is definitely giving you a leg up.
Yeah, I mean, that's very cool. And at the same point, as you're saying that, what I think to myself is like, then if you're one of those people, and we have working students here, which would be kind of the same idea, it is a lot of pressure on you as a coach then as well, not just to do a good job, but like, it is, I think, and you may or may not agree with this, it is tough to know how hard you can push on kids now. Like, not to sound like an old man, but back in my day, like, it was tough, and they were hard on me, and I don't know that you can be quite that hard on kids now.
Times are changing,
Yeah.
and again, I go back to social media. I mean, as a professional, I think you have to, you need to stick to what you believe in and your belief system, but everything is videoed now.
Right.
And you may do something that you wouldn't think anything of, that somebody may take a video of and edit it here, there, or everywhere, and you the next day are a horse abuser on social media.
Right.
So it's a very, in my opinion, that stuff it's a very scary world.
It is. Like, I know David said it, and I didn't agree with him at first. Like, so when this all kind of went crazy with social media, our first reaction here at our farm, and I don't know how yours was, Rick, was no videos. I don't want anybody pulling their phone out. We're just training our horses. I don't want any stuff. And then I was talking with David O'Connor, and his theory was just don't do anything anytime that you wouldn't want video, that you couldn't explain. And at first I was like, well, that's not going to work. But actually, I've found it's made me be more patient and better, and,
Of course, yeah.
and a much better horseman and trainer going forward. And so, to your point, times do
Again,
change, and there probably is some
I
good.
totally agree with what you're saying, but I will then circle back to there's mean people
Yes,
in the
that's
world,
true.
and they can take a video, and you again would think nothing of it, and whether it's due to some editing when they get home, here there are things can be really misconstrued, and so I think it's a fine line that you walk when it comes to teaching.
It is, and like, so I do a lot of clinics. I now, when I run into a big problem at a clinic, whereas maybe even 10 years ago, I would take time and we would deal with that and make it work. Now I'm more likely to say, you know what? This isn't the place where we're going to get through this. Here's the things that I would do on Monday when you get home
course, yeah.
to get through it. And that's
That's
just what
a
you have
smart
to do
move,
now,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think the negatives and the positives, unfortunately, the negatives came into play, and I always feel like we're playing defense instead of offense. And it's always been a little bit of a aggravation to me of how we've gotten to where we are, but we are where we are. And I think for us, we're very lucky, Briggs and I, in that we don't have a farm full of clients that you have. That's your business and what you do.
Right.
We have a different model for our business. So as far as videoing, even when people come to try horses, we have an equitation horse and people are coming to try it. I get a little nervous when the videos come out, but then you go, what are they going to use us for? So it's a fine line what you do with those.
Listen, it's not going away. I mean, social media and videos, and it's only going to become more apparent. So we're going to have to learn how to live with it.
Yeah.
Well, I look at videos now and go, is this AI or am I looking at the right?
Well, for sure.
Also that. Yes.
What's going on?
Right.
You know?
Right. Yeah.
It's unfortunate. I hope we get AI to do our dressage judging soon, but
I hope I can get him to do my dressage test.
Yeah, there you go.
That'd be ideal.
Hey, there's John.
I was there. Look.
It's been a great having you come on the show because I know, like with us and Ronnie, there's been a little bit of sad time. But what I hope happens, I know Can Do, excuse me, is with you. The horse, I think he's very excited about, and I know there's always hills and valleys that we go through. And a call out to Bradley Kane, who discovered the horse. No, is that correct? Yeah. Bradley Kane in Virginia called Ronnie one day and said, I just saw this horse jump an exit, and I think you need it. So that's how he got Can Do. I hope, he had such aspirations for that horse, and he loved it so much. So no matter what happens in the transitions or what's happening, but I hope everything goes well with that horse as well.
Yep, we're certainly gonna give it our best shot in honor of him, for sure.
And I there's never a give up stage, right?
No, I mean horses. It's always
Horses
a challenge,
are horses.
right? It's always a challenge. But
thanks for being such a good advocate
absolutely,
for him, and
absolutely.
for being on the show. And John, Equa Brew is a great live probiotic
That's right. Go to brickfieldnutrition.com. That puts you to the Shopify app and place your order.
And by the way, everybody, from our Nupeed segment in one that you all heard about, Nupeed is now featuring Equa Brew in their shopping cart. So when you order Nupeed, it pops up as a good thing to use to help Nupeed even exemplify the effects of the magnesium.
Fantastic.
How do you like that?
Look at that.
All circles back together, right?
Well, good luck this week.
Thank you so much.
I know WEX starts on Wednesday. Thanks for taking time out of your busy schedule.
Thanks for having me, you guys.
All right. Well, thank you guys for watching. We appreciate it, and we will catch you on the next one. We have an awesome show for you guys today.
The greatest eventer of all time.
Good news for the sport.